Okay, this is going to be a video on how to repair the low power error, the low power light that you get on a GM vehicle, mostly Saturns and Cobalts in the 2004 or higher range. If you're driving along and the light's going to come on, you'll get a check engine light and you'll get this low power light. And I'll just kick the engine on just to show you the light. And that's this guy right here in the corner. It just went off and you'll get a check engine light. With this particular car, I've got the check engine light always on because the low power thing comes on and off, and as long as the code's still there, the check engine light will stay on. And I'll scan the codes and show you what you get for that. This car also has another issue where the ABS light will come on, and I'll do a video on fixing that. When the car starts rolling, it'll see that it doesn't see one of the sensors on the bearing, and it'll throw that code out and trip that light. But this particular video is going to be on the low power, and we'll see if we can't make it come on. Usually about every other time I drive this car it comes on, but since I've got the video, I'll probably have to drive it 100 times to make it come on. But I won't put you through that. We'll just video it coming on one time.
2 hours later, 3 hours later.
I'm going to put my foot on the brake. There we go. I got the other light I was looking for. That, if you can see it over here, is the low power light. So we'll show how to fix that in many cases. The panel that's inside of here, and I've started to pull it off, but I'm going to finish. You just have to take off this panel. There's a couple of screws up in here that I've yanked. Then you pull this out, and then you come inside and there's a clip right inside of here. I'll move the camera so we can see it. Okay, here's the problem. This is normally the culprit. This connector brings back all of the relays. Some other stuff goes through it, and usually if you pull this apart, and you can spray contact cleaner through here, clean it up really good. This normally makes the problem go away. Sometimes it's inside the throttle body and the circuitry going between the throttle body and here. Sometimes it's in here. And throttle bodies are expensive, so I like to do this first. I knew a guy that worked at a Saturn dealer, and he said they always did this, and it went away. I don't doubt they probably charged for a new throttle body at the same time, for all I know. Clean that out really good. And then I'm going to throw some dielectric grease in there to keep moisture from getting into it again. You could usually get these little packs from the counter at most parts stores. They're for sealing spark plugs, but this will work just fine here. There we go. Come across the front, just give it a little squirt, and that should seal it pretty good. Bring that back and snap it in. But normally what I'll do is I'll put 2 wire ties on it to hold it in place. Or 1 sometimes is enough if you pull it tight. And you want to get it between the wires. You don't want to pinch any wires with this stupid wire tie. You want the head of the wire tied down here so it's not in the way of your clip. And just give it a good hard pull. That'll hold it in there, and then this will snap on easier. because there's not much, it's not doing much. This wire tie is holding it together. I believe it shakes loose and it disconnects, and it doesn't have to disconnect for more than a second or two to throw the code. And if that keeps happening, it'll go into limp mode. Now I'll leave this off for a day or two, and then I'll put the panel back on once I'm sure that that problem's gone away and that was the cause. And we'll take it for a drive and see what we get. Okay, so for some reason the check engine light went off. That usually doesn't happen. Usually it takes 50 miles or so. But I'll take it. I think the low traction light's probably going to come on. That's a different problem. But we'll see. There we go. So that's killed the low power light thing. I'll drive it for a day or two and we'll see if it comes back. And I'll give you an update in a day or two. Usually it comes back 2-3 times a day until you take it apart and clean it. It's been 3 or 4 days since we've cleaned that connection, and that low power light is off. The check engine light stayed off. We do have another light, the brake ABS brake light, but that's a different problem that we'll take care of in another video. We have a sensor connection or sensor open, some problem with the ABS brakes, and I'll go through how to fix that in another video. But full disclosure, this car has been rode hard, put away wet. It's got 150,000 miles almost. This problem with the low power light has been here before. I had it about 60,000 miles ago. I replaced the throttle body. I replaced the throttle body position sensor, and I took apart the connector and replaced the connector end for the throttle body, and none of it made the problem go away. I ran into a guy that worked for a Saturn dealership after they closed. Maybe he was a little bitter, but he told me about this connection and told me how they used to clean these connections all the time and it would fix it. And said nobody believed they would charge him for other parts. So before I went and spent serious money on a throttle body, which is several $100s, or a throttle position sensor, which is about $75 if you can get it online, I would take this connection apart and clean it, because that's going to fix probably 50% of the cars. And this is for Saturns, most GM cars, your Cobalts, Saturn Vues, a lot of the small GMs that have this problem. So I hope this works for you. Thanks for watching.